All right, today we're gonna do away with the weak link of a series cart. Um, if you saw my previous video, you've seen some of the problems that happen with these forward and reverse switches. And if you're tired of dealing with these weak forward reverse switches, and nobody makes one like Club Car did. They were decent switches that lasted a while. Um, since then you have to spend about 130 bucks on a mediocre switch from Red Hawk or somebody rocks, somebody like that. Um, this is a Red Hawk switch burn up. I bought, as you saw in the last video, I bought a 10 LOL replacement switch. It was about $50. It was junk. It didn't work. So I'm just tired of dealing with these. So what we're going to do is convert this cart from the lever style switch to the IQ looking style push button switch. And we're going to do that with this reversing contactor. And we're going to do away with the switch period. So um, let's get it over to the bench and do what work we need to do to this contactor that we can do on the bench prior to taking all this stuff out. I'm going to go ahead and put the diodes on and wire up some pigtails to the switch, and then we'll start putting it in. Okay, so I went to Revolution Golf Cars and I ordered the SW 182 kit, conversion kit. And that conversion kit comes with two diodes like this. It comes with a switch, comes with this forward and reverse housing, and it comes with a charge back for the key switch. So there's three diodes, a switch, a housing, and the actual Albright reversing contactor. So the first thing you need to do, because you really can't reach this when you get to put this on the cart, is go ahead and install your diodes. The striped area right here, see the silver stripe goes on the positive, and you can see it's marked positive. And you're going to do that on each side. Okay, that's the first thing that's going to happen. Now, I'm going to build uh, a pigtail here, and I'll get this on tripod in just a second, but I've got to put a negative from here, the bottom, from here to here. I'm going to connect those together and then leave a wire, a black wire, that's going to go to the B negative terminal on my controller. Okay, so let me get a setup on the tripod and I'll get this going. Okay, while I'm still at the bench here, I am going to go ahead and put some wire on these terminals for the switch. I'm not going to be using a reverse buzzer, so uh, I'm just going to wire. I'm going to use one side of this switch. Now, these two sides are different. They work independently of each other on the same toggle. So I'm going to put my power wire in the middle here, and then there's going to be the actuator wires for the forward and reverse. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put some wires on here, and then I'm going to put this switch housing together. I'm going to run these back through there, and I'll show you that when we get over there. But I'm going to go ahead and put these wires together, and I'll use blue for one, red. I don't have any brown, but I think brown is an IQ color on their harness, but I don't have an IQ anyway, so I was going to try to keep the factory colors. But I'm going to go ahead and wire this switch up so that I don't have to worry about it in the cart. I like to do most of my work on the bench if I can. Let me go ahead and do everything I can do in here. It sure makes life easier. Get these on here. Wire's a little fat for these connectors. That one. And still with a piece of green wire. And the other one. And we'll get that switch completely wired up. Now let's heat shrink those up real good. It's really a pretty simple kit. Um, as you can see, there's not much with it. And if you order this from Revolution, David Hicks sends, he's a super guy over there. He's super knowledgeable about all golf cart things. He put this kit together, and he sends a nice wiring diagram with it. And he's also got his own video on install. Um, I'm going to do mine a little different than he did his, but nonetheless, he sends you with all the diagrams. He sends you with a diagram, a wiring diagram that for the forward reverse switch, and he sends you a wiring diagram for the contactor as well, so you can see it all. You can see it both ways. It really helps to clarify things. Now, I'm going to put this red wire in the center. They all need to go on the same side of the switch. And see, this is forward. I'm going to use blue for forward. And one of the things you have to do is if you're, whatever this switch, when you push it to this side, it's actually using this terminal. That's just the way the switch is wired. So blue is going to be forward for me. So I have and I'm going to put this in here like this, forward. So the blue is going to be forward. It's opposite the side that's pressed. And then my reverse wire is going to be green. Boy, those connectors are tight. Okay. Now the way I have that, blue is going to be forward. So forward, when I push it to forward, it's going to be actuating the blue. And that's the way I'm going to put the switch in the housing. Forward is blue. I'm going to go ahead and stick all these down in there. Now, this housing is ready to go. Of the cart. I still got to figure out on this carryall where I'm going to mount this. Some people, what they do is put a fender washer here when it gets inside the cart. If you have a DS, there's room to do that. And then just drill another hole on this side that matches. For me, I think I'm going to mount it in the cart like this, and I'll just drill 2 new holes because I'm putting this in a carryall too. And there's the brackets for my controller and everything are in the way to do it like on a DS, and I'll show you that in just a minute. But nonetheless, this is ready to go in. I think I'm going to go ahead and install the housing in a minute. I'll see you when I get over there. Okay, so let's get this other switch out of here. Good riddance. I'm going to take this handle off first. And I've disconnected the battery. Be sure you do that. I've learned that lesson the hard way before. Okay. Let me get you in here. All right. I said I was. There we go. Close enough. Let's get these cables off of here. That's 5/16. Probably gonna have to put some bigger ends on there for this contactor. That one's good. these off. That's going to be a 10. Maybe a 7/16. 7/16 on the back. This blue one. All right. Now on this first switch back here, this blue and white wire, I'm sorry, the green and white wire, this is your half-speed reverse. I need to connect these two together. So I think I'll do that next. These two go together. And that's from this last one. Right here. Those two go together. Let me butt splice those real quick. See here. This green and white. Those are going to be together. So there won't be any more half-speed reverse. Which I'm not so concerned about. And the black wire on that micro switch, it's not doing anything. So over here, we're just going to fold it back. Let me get a butt splice. I have noticed on these things that some of the factory wiring is a little bit different colored. I'm not sure if that has to do with the year model cart. That's why I just know that last micro switch on the back here is for half-speed reverse, and usually it's this white and green wire here. For our purposes, these are going to go together. So your white and green wire is now together. In this third one, we're not going to worry about the black one. We're going to fold it back. The first two micro switches, the first micro switch here, it's a black with a mean, it's a white with a black stripe and a green. And then the second micro switch, let's get rid of that. That was orange and those two. So now our switch is off. We're going to get rid of that. And we're going to work on some connections here because this is not going to work. I got to put a bigger end on it. Maybe on several of them here. So let's see what we got. See if I can get them to fit. We'll work on that next. I've got to put the proper size ends on these cables to go onto my new switch. They're not going to work. That one will. Let me change those out and I'll come back. Let me show you what's going on here now. So I had to, this is the cable I was talking about earlier. You couldn't see it because the camera was jacked up, but this should be blue. It goes to the M negative terminal on your controller, wherever your controller might be. On yours, this will be blue, and this one will be blue back here. You can see it's tucked away in the back. Blue, blue, white, and orange. Okay, that's all for your big terminals. Now I've drilled a couple of holes and mounted this just below where the forward and reverse switch used to be. And what I've done here is I just got some matching pan head screws right there, that just like the ones that came out of here, only a little bit shorter. And it's mounted nice and neat. I had enough cable. I just had to lengthen this one. So in a DS where your control you have plenty of room to mount everything. This was in my way on this Carryall, but nonetheless, those are the big wires. Now the only thing left to do is, don't forget this. We did this earlier. This is a white and the green that comes off your speed control. Your reverse half speed for your micro switch. Now the only other two wires left are this white and green and this black and white. Now this, I couldn't figure this out earlier, but this has a white stripe on it down there. It's just worn off somewhat. These two came off that very first micro switch. These two I'm going to tie together. I'm going to butt splice these two together, because when it actuates, this is what's going to send power to my switch that we haven't yet installed. So I'll show you that in just a second. And that's the only other thing. This red and white wire is a negative, and I'm going to run this negative to the one we left hanging off of the switch earlier that we built on the bench. So let me get done with that, and I'll show it again when we get done. See what, I can probably go ahead and install the panel on the front. Let me go ahead and do that real quick before I do anything else. So I've got my wires, and I'm just going to remember that the blue is going to be my forward, and the green is going to be my reverse. Okay. So I'm going to stick these wires through this hole where I can get to them here in a minute. And thankfully these holes all line up. That's an added bonus. almost didn't leave me enough room to get in here. I put that contactor a little bit close to the top where I can barely reach these screws right here. I thought it was close, but didn't think it was that close. I'll get these tightened down. That's amazing how that factory switch fits over those 3 holes. Okay. Let me get a wrench, tighten those up, and then I've got my 3 cables coming through the back. All right, let me get this button down. Get these tightened up, and then we'll move back on the inside and finish the small wiring. Okay, the blue is going to go to the positive back here, the positive on the top. That's the forward side of this switch. So I'm going to put a terminal on that. Put a blade terminal there. Remember, this was the forward side on the switch. Okay. And then the green is going to go to the top of the other positive right here. So let me go ahead and get that one cut. Get another spade on there. Tell you what, wherever you're at, it's hot in Texas right now. It's about 101 out here, and it sucks. Let me go ahead and heat shrink those down while I got them out. The blue wire here is going to the driver's side of that Albright contactor on the positive. So this is the driver's side. This is going to be forward. Get that on there without burning the shit out of my hands. Ow. Okay. That's hot. We'll wait on that. Let it cool down for a minute. And then this is going to be my power switch. This is power to that switch. So these two wires that were on this the first micro switch up there, in this case, it's a green and white and a black and white. Now, this version, some of the wires are different, but I just know that these two came off that first micro switch, and I know what they do. So I'm going to connect these two wires together. Let me twist these up, and I'm going to put them in a butt connector. And then I'm going to attach them. I'm going to attach them to that red wire. Let me get a blue butt connector somewhere. Here it is. Get this. Now, that's what's going to feed my power here. Oh, motherfucker, that's hot. You don't want to put your arm down on your heat gun, that's for sure. That hurts. Okay. Probably one of the shittiest butt connectors. I'm gonna find a real butt connector. Got this shit from China. They ain't quite figured it out. The tube inside of it was too small for the wires. Try this one. We do that one. Okay. So This is going to that middle lug on my forward reverse switch up there. This is on this card, it's a green and white and black and white. It was the first micro switch back. That's what's going to power that. Now, I'm going to plug these other two from the switch, now that they're cool enough, into the positive on the top. Okay. Forward and in my wiring right here is on the driver's side over there, and reverse is green. Boy, those are tight. Yeah, dog. Okay. Okay. Top lug on this side. You got the grounds on the bottom. I still got to attach a ground somewhere. I can either take this ground over here to the B negative. If I'm not mistaken, I'm going to check I think this red and white wire right here goes straight to ground. I'm going to check the schematics real quick and make sure that's the case. That is the case. That goes to the B minus. So I'm going to use that as my ground. This red and white wire right here is a ground wire according to the schematics. So I'm going to tie it right here. Let me clip that and splice that together. That goes to the B minus on the that goes to the B negative. Where's my black wire out here? Okay. Get this crimped up here. Let me shrink those up. And I'll tie back the rest of these wires. And we'll see what we got. The only other thing I have left to do is that charge back. I got to put a diode on the key switch, the 48 volt to the key switch to keep it from feeding back. And I'll show you that in a minute. We'll do that next. We'll go over these wires one more time. Get all this shrink down. And I'll take you back over these wires one more time. These finished up here. You get what you pay for these damn shrink wraps. The cheap ones don't work near as good. All right. Okay. Let's go back over this one more time. This goes to the middle lug on my forward reverse switch that we mounted in the front. That comes from these two. When the micro switch gets activated down there from the M core, from the throttle, it sends power here. It's going to power this. This is going to power the switch. And depending on which direction the switch is in, it's going to open and it's going to close one of these contactors for forward and reverse. Now again, the only wire on the top of this thing is this white wire. Your orange wire is down here on the bottom, on the front side of this. Your blue going to M negative goes here. And then your blue going back to the motor is up in the front here. The only thing we did here, we made a ground out of the red and white wire right here. We took those first two that we were just talking about from the contact, from the deal, and put them in the middle lug. And then from the switch forward and reverse on the top positive lugs on the bottom. And that's going to do it for the installation of the switch. The only thing left now, we find this other diode. This diode's going on the key switch. And I believe it's a green wire, and I'll show you that when we get up there. But I got to put this on the key switch to keep it from back feeding. Now this diode in the front, I just took the screw out. This green wire right here, this green wire right here is on this top lug. I just took the screw out. I'm going to clip that green wire right here. I'm going to clip it off and put that diode on it with the ring terminal, and I'm going to put it back on there. Give me just a second. All right, there's that diode right there that we just put on the green wire. It goes on this lug right here. And that's going to do it. Let me go ahead and screw all this stuff back together, and I'll hook the battery up and we'll see what we got. Got the battery hooked back up. Got my switch on. The key's on. Going to switch it to forward. And we have forward. Going to switch it to reverse. We have full speed reverse. So there you have it. We've eliminated this junk. No more junk. No more forward reverse lever. We have the forward reverse contactors, and we've got it all wired up. Not a bad project at all. Just get your stuff ahead of time. You know, these wires, not too bad. 3 wires coming off the switch. You know, kudos to David Hicks over at Revolution Golf Cars. He puts this kit together, and it is absolutely perfect. Everything that you need is there. His schematics and diagrams and instructions are absolutely on point. Anyway, anybody has any questions and I can help you with it, let me know. But this is going to handle much more amperage than the forward reverse switch. Uh, Give the car a little more modern look, and hopefully it holds up a lot better. I'm just tired of replacing those other switches, but there you have it. Got rid of our forward reverse switch and went to a push button style. Thanks for watching. I'm Dean. This is Do It with Dean. Have a good one.